What's up, I'm Grandmaster Igor Smirnov, and today I'd like to share with you a really powerful opening line for white after you play pawn e4 and black responds pawn e5, the most played moves of all, and now we're entering the king's gambit, an opening that most of your opponents will not really be ready for. Maybe they'll know a little bit about it, but not too much. But even if they are a little bit familiar with the king's gambit, which is an extremely dangerous opening weapon, at this point we're gonna surprise them anyway. Instead of playing the main move, which is knight to f3, we're gonna go bishop c4. And if you're following me for some time, then you may know that I'm a fan of the bishop's opening, which is another opening, but nevertheless, in this case, we're using the bishop's gambit. So I think it's only natural that I'm recommending for you to play the bishop's gambit. And yeah, it's also unknown and very powerful. You kind of provoke black into delivering the check queen h4, because it looks like white just overlooked something, and now with this check, black is forcing the king to move. It looks dangerous for white, but in fact, everything is under control. You just play king to f1. This square was vacated by your bishop's move, so now your king can still stand in safety here. And your next plan is very simple. You're gonna go knight f3, and from here the knight will attack this queen and kick it back, and you also gain this extra tempo for your development. Therefore, at this point, black realizes that things are getting shaky for them, and they still try playing bishop c5, because they're still having this false impression that you're doing something wrong, they're gonna punish you. So bishop c5, the most played move by black in this position, and also a bad mistake, because in fact, even though they're trying to deliver this sneaky checkmate, but you can just play pawn d4 and you refute the black's idea very easily. Now the bishop's being attacked, you also get these strong pawns in the center of the board, everything's great. Black has to move their bishop back, and now you play knight f3 as planned, kicking this queen away from h4. Black starts realizing that their plan is failing, because, well, not only they couldn't really attack your king on f1, which is perfectly safe, you also managed to build up these beautiful pawns in the center. Now the queen has to move. If it moves backwards somewhere to, e7 or elsewhere, you could always take this pawn in the future on f4, and after that your position will be just completely dominant. I'll link a video where I share how to play here in greater details, how you can get a winning position over here. But anyway, moving backwards seems a little bit of a passive and bad idea for black, because it feels bad for black to just retreat all the way and kind of accept that what black did so far was wrong. So a more ambitious way for black would be to play queen h6, saying, hey, at least I'm gonna hold on to my extra pawn. At least you don't get this out of me. So that white cannot take this pawn with their bishop, because the pawn is now being protected by the queen. And in this case, there is a really evil trap that I'd like to share with you. Of course, very strictly speaking, you could play knight e5, and it's objectively speaking the best move, hitting this f7 with two minor pieces, and yeah, there is no convenient way for black to cover this. But there is another line which just, from the perspective of a practical game, maybe even stronger. It's the move pawn g3. Pawn g3, the idea is pretty simple. You're taking advantage of the pin, and that's why the pawn cannot move. Well, some of your opponents will blunder, actually. They will take here, losing their queen. They would overlook the pin. But those who don't overlook will realize that pawn g3 seems strong for white, because white is going to grab this pawn on the next move, but black will realize, hey, I can just play queen h3 and get away with the check, and black escapes from the pin, so it looks like they finally found a way to outsmart you. So you have to play the king move, and now they can trade on g3, because their queen is not pinned anymore. But you recapture, now the queen is under the attack of the rook, and the only available square for the queen would be queen g4, and here, at this point, you shock your opponent with the boom. Bishop takes f7. You sacrifice the bishop, and if king takes it, then there is knight e5. A very straightforward win. Knight e5 for king, the king and the queen, therefore the queen will be gone on the next move, and you're winning the game. It's a really sweet trick where it feels for black that they were outplaying you, but all of a sudden they lost. Now let's take a move back here, because I've got one question for you. In this case, what if black calculates this line that they can't actually accept the sacrifice, and they decide to move their king away here to f8? Please think about this, and if you can't find the winning solution, write it down in the comments below. How would you play here as white? If you want to learn more about the King's Gambit, you may watch this video where we get in greater details about this opening. And also, if you want to know more about how to improve in chess overall, feel free to attend my free masterclass by clicking over there, where I break down in general the path for chess mastery and how you can improve your chess in this super efficient way. Thank you for watching, talk to you soon, subscribe to not miss out on next videos, take care.